and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Iyobosa. I remain your girl, Iyobosa. On today's show, we're going to be talking about food. Oh my goodness, the relationship us Nigerians have with food, part 2 no day. As in, anytime there's a celebration, food comes out. Heck, food comes out just because it's Wednesday. From the delectable party jollof rice, smoky, not just any kind of regular jollof rice, smoky jollof rice with correct goat meat, to the tantalizing soups and swallow dishes, or the infamous small chops. Man, talking about all this food is making me hungry. Nigerians these days, some Nigerians have really carved out a niche for themselves on social media as chefs and food bloggers, blowing up our social media feeds with pictures and videos of delectable plated dishes. Today on the show, we're going to be meeting Gina Agbukor. She's in short, this one I gotta read it because I want to make sure I don't miss out anything. Many things though. She's a chef, food blogger, recipe developer, food photographer, and spiciologist. In short, until I met her, I'd never heard of the term spiciologist. So she's going to tell us about that. She has her IG page called Gina Cooks, and this is where she inspires us with her drinks mixes, her delectable plated dishes, as well as food education. Without further ado, let's just get into it. Gina, welcome to the show. So nice to have you, and you're looking fantastic.
Thank you, Iyobosa. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, me, I'm just happy because when it comes to food, I'm right there. Okay. Before I even get into the topics, what exactly is a spiciologist? Or should I say, who is a spiciologist?
Basically a person who blends spices, who is a connoisseur of spices of some sort. So basically I have a company where I make my own spices and I make some spice blends. So that's what a spiciologist does. Just like, a mixologist. We make cocktails. So yes, we make spices, we blend spices, and we know how to pair them with food. So yes.
And this is a commercial, and you sell them commercially?
Yes, commercial. Yes, I do sell them. I have my spices markets, yes.
Okay, and what's the name of the company?
Jujiko Spices. So we make like indigenous local blends. We make yaji and pepper soup spices, banga spices, and so on. Yeah.
Wow. In short, all I'm just saying is yaji. I'm like, okay, then banga. I'm like, okay, all right. So the one thing I appreciate about people like you who have these social media feeds, and you guys do fantastic work. But I noticed that it's all about the plating, because I follow quite a number of food bloggers, and sometimes I can tell the difference between someone who knows their craft in terms of plating and others who don't. So I take it plating is important, right?
It is important. Like the adage is saying that you eat with your eyes. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if a dish is beautifully presented, you definitely want to dig in. So I am up for a nicely presented meal any day. Of course, you want it to taste nice, but first it needs to look, appealing, presentable, especially like Nigerian dishes, African dishes that haven't really gone as far as, let's say maybe Indian cuisine or Korean cuisine in the global space. So you want to make it appealing, to look great. So, someone would easily find it, acceptable to be on, maybe on a buffet table or something. So yes, presentation for me is key to preparing the meal.
But we can't hide under the facade of presentation. It better taste good too.
It does have to taste good, yes. Of course, flavor is everything. When you talk with chefs, they could excuse you for a terribly presented meal, but flavor is everything. It is everything. Yeah.
So what inspired you to go down this journey? Because so again, all those many things, chef, food blogger, but I understand you also host, I guess private pop-up dinner club events where you you prepare, you present 2 to 3 course meals, and these events are often sold out there in Abuja. I know you've done 3 or 4 of them now, maybe quite a couple, So what inspired you to go down this path? What has it always been innate in you, or is this something you developed along the way? I guess just talk to us about it.
Growing up, I ate a lot with my dad. So when he's having breakfast, I'd go to him, and he had a very interesting diet because he was diabetic. So most of his dishes were Mediterranean influenced.
Okay.
So there was a lot of olive oil in meals, like using lemon or olives. So my foray into food started at a very young age, tasting textures that were different to what we normally would eat. So that's where the love started from. We'd eat together, and it just grew from there. So I took interest in, when we were little, there was this cooking show called Magic Kitchen. And
yes.
I've always wanted to. So
yes. What's her name? Is it Fumi Adeoye or something like that? Yeah.
The Fumi lady, and she would make all these weird dishes from all around the world, and that's where it started from. Really, just kind of just fueled the fire that was in me. But funny enough, I didn't really know I could make a career out of it until maybe in my 30s. I just felt like I was food. Then in my 30s, of course, I went to cooking school. And like you say, the rest is history. So yes, I really love my food. So it started from, I think, when I was 6, so up until now. So yeah.
And the good thing I like about you now, where did you go to cooking school? Was it there in Nigeria or
in London, Leeds School of Food and Wine?
All right, yes. Okay. Well, look at you. That's why. Now this explains why. Because the one thing I also love about you is you've got a breadth, right, or depth of culinary skills. So not only are you guys, seriously, go and check. Anyway, we will leave her details. Her details are below. Go and check out her IG page. You have a depth of culinary skills. So not only are you adept at Nigerian dishes, but you're also adept at, pretty much more like Indian, Asian, Mediterranean. You name it, right? So how did and all of this was inspired by just eating with your dad?
I think I grew up in a small town, Auchi, in Edo State, and I kind of, as a young child, I really yearned to maybe see the world. So I think when I meet people, the first thing I want to know is what you're eating, especially if I meet people from a different culture. So I want to know what you're eating. So I'm quite adept at, Indian food. Like before this, I've already made butter chicken for my son, for he wants to take it to school next week. So this, all week. So these are the kind of things I love. I just want to cook different dishes. Yes, I love Nigerian cuisine. I love our local food, but I like to have variety. So I want to also learn variety. And I think it's also a great icebreaker. When you meet people, I want to know what they're eating. I want to know what their cuisine is about, the spices, the flavors and everything. I just think, yes, basically, when I meet people, I want to know what they're eating. So not only do I know about a lot of Nigerian cuisine, I also know about international cuisine. Yes.
Wow. No, it's inspiring, and I think it just shows that you're passionate about food, right? And food has got breath to it, and so you're just soaking it all in, and you're willing to learn. I think that's the key as well. It's like you're willing to learn, and listen.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic. Okay. So I think it was last year, was it the year before? You launched another subset
last year.
Oh, was last year?
It started in January.
Okay, so you launched a subset of Gina Cooks, and you call it Boys Cook 2. And when I saw that, I was kind of like, hey, you know what? Well, that makes sense, right? I'm like, of course we need to get our boys to cook, but we know that gender stereotyping is real. I'm sure you got flack from some parents. Well, what do you mean my son should go to the kitchen to go and start cooking? What blah blah. In my head, I'm like, well, why not? So tell us about that. What inspired that? I know you have 2 boys, so maybe, but yeah, walk us through.
I grew up, I've always been some sort of a rebel, but I grew up not just I grew up in an environment where, it's just you hear, oh, when you grow up, when you get married, this is how you be cooking for your husband. It's been said to most of us as we were growing up, women. And during the pandemic, I remember vividly, there was an Indian lady who was on news, I think it was CNN or something, and she was crying that her son was trapped somewhere in the UK uni, and all the shops had closed, all the restaurants had closed, and there was no way he could get food. I mean, I couldn't understand how a grown man in university could not feed themselves. How do you leave something as important as feeding yourself, your stomach, to someone else? I can't give that much power to anyone. I can't give that much power to anyone. I found it was bizarre. Like, how do you cry over, like, not going to be able to feed myself? And you hear people, I've heard people assume that, it's a woman's job to feed their families, to feed their husbands, and the men just sit there and fold their arms. All they need to do is just provide money for the house. But we know that these days women work as well. They go through the whole pregnancy and everything. It would be nice if they could split the roles. I mean, like, we need to quash, gender stereotypes. A woman's role is not limited or does not end in the kitchen. I think it would be nicer if both genders partake in cooking and do stuff. So I think it's the next generation, it's our duty to help them, to instill that in them, to show them that, they can help in the kitchen as well. They could cook for themselves. They could cook for their families. We don't always have to have the picture of a woman in the kitchen. I mean, that's my opinion. And I've also received a bit of a resistance, surprisingly, from women who say, oh, my son, yeah, they want their sons to attend, but they don't really want to domesticate their sons. I don't know how they came to that conclusion. But
what does that even mean? I said, what does that even mean? I don't know. I have people say, I beg, all I want is, my son should be able to provide for his family. My son does not have to go and be cooking for a woman. We hear things like that, but I'm raising my boys to be domesticated. I want them to learn how to cook and learn how to clean up after themselves. It's funny because I've often pointed out, I'm like, why would anyone, I don't care who is, anyone, any human being, right, decide to leave the fate of his stomach or her stomach in the hands of another?
I know, right? Like if the woman doesn't want to cook, so you're gonna go to bed hungry. I don't know how that works. I think we need to change the narrative, and I actually think that it's us women who are going to do it. Teach our boys how to cook, teach them how to help out to clean up after themselves, and let them understand that it's not a woman's role. It's really tiring. I can't cook, 3 days a week, 3 days every day, and 7 days a week. I have to do other things as well. And I don't do a 9-to-5 job, but I work. And cooking can be very exhausting. Sometimes I need to take a break. So it'd be nice to get some help as well. So that's how it goes. I honestly think that, boys and girls should spend equal time in the kitchen.
I totally agree. I think both sexes. So girls should also learn to do, like I was talking to my husband the other day, he's like, car seats. I needed to take the car seats from the car. And I'm like, I told him, I was like, oh, please, can you go take? He goes, well, you can't take. And I was like, I don't know how to do it. He goes, you should learn. Like, you should kind of learn how to, like, take the car seat off, because what if someday I'm not around, I've traveled, and you need to do it? Do you understand? So I think I should also learn things. Do you understand? I think it goes down to the whole gender stereotype, because in my head, I'm like, no, you're the man, go and take the car seat out. But he's like, no, you kind of also need to learn how to go do it. Do you understand? So I totally get it.
Absolutely, I agree with him. Because today, I actually tried to turn the generator on because there was no man in the house. So I tried to turn on I didn't succeed, but I tried.
But you tried.
I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. So I think it applies to both sexes, yes.
Okay. Now, still on the topic of boys and men learning how to cook, and I think it's laudable what you're doing. Boys come and learn how to cook and all that. So girls, I guess the narrative so far is that girls, okay, yes, you are the ones that need to learn how to cook. You're the ones that go to the kitchen. You're the ones that are cooks, become chefs. However, right, and this is what I can't fathom. Top chefs in the world are men. What gives? I don't understand. How do you go from girls, women, you need to do this, but yet men are the best chefs? What happened?
The truth of the matter, when a lot of people ask me, why don't you own a restaurant? Why don't you have a restaurant? The first thing, before anything else, I'm a mom. And I feel like that itself is a lot, it's a lot of work.
It is.
And working in a professional kitchen is intense.
It is.
It's intense, and it requires stamina. That's why you see that a lot of women do not succeed in, or not a lot of women. It's a terrain that's physically tasking. You know what I mean? Like, it just requires more stamina. And also, for instance, I'm pregnant. Can I really do 12 hours on my feet in the kitchen? It's not a desk job. You can't sit down. These are the things a lot of people have to understand. It takes a lot from the woman. And based on biology, some of us were married, we want to have kids. It's not an easy terrain to, grow in your career, being an executive chef, taking 6 months out of work, coming back, and doing 12 hours on your feet. It's physically tasking. That's why I think that, it's a career that's dominated by men.
Right. Thanks for breaking it down. I didn't think about it that way.
I think it's not about, how would I put it, culinary prowess per se. It's more about stamina.
Okay.
It's just like saying, why don't you have as many women maybe on oil rigs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just physically tasking. There's just some careers where, you find that men thrive more because, they don't have to go back home and carry babies for 9 months. That's how I see it. And also, I think it's male dominated as well. And it's also easy for them to be a bit of, bias, you see. And the women who are doing it are actually thriving. You're from some women, but something has to give. Something has to give, though. They have to make a lot of sacrifices to be in that space.
Wow.
And I know what it entails. So that's why I said, you know what, I need to do something a lot more physically less tasking than being in a professional kitchen. But I advise that every woman who wants to, dabble in this career area or career, it would be nice to just dip your feet for a bit in the professional kitchen and see, how you fare there. Yeah, but it's based on stamina. That's it, really. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Because I know as I am right now, I can't do 12 hours in professional kitchen.
No, that's on your feet. And when you come home,
you have to be on your feet. Chefs, I think is one of the most undervalued professions in the world. They come to work, they're like the first to come to work, and they have to do the prep. Even though most restaurants open at 6 o'clock, they have to be there as early as maybe 10. They have to do all their mise en place, all the preps and everything, and they are doing their service. Some of them are going back home at 1 a.m. and they finish, and they have to work on holidays. They don't really spend a lot of time with their families. Restaurants are open on Christmas. They're often open on holidays. So someone has to, feed the public.
To be there to make the dishes. Yeah.
I think I really think it's a laudable, cause. I think it's a cause. I think I'm really proud to do what I do, and I also think it's a gift to be able to know how to cook. So yes, it boils down to a lot of things that you see. That's why you see that a lot of women don't get there.
Oh wow. Okay. No, thanks for breaking it down. I didn't think about it this way, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So if there's a celebrity chef that you could meet, who would it be? And if this person says, hey, Gina, you know what? I'm organizing a private event. I want you to be the head chef. and I need you to make me a nice, delectable Nigerian dish, what would it be and why?
Okay. I was talking about this person today. He's a pastry chef.
Okay.
I'm not exactly a sweet tooth, but his name is Pierre Hermes.
Okay.
Hermes. He's a French pastry chef.
Mhm.
I would love to meet him. And if he tells me to cook a dish, of course, a Nigerian dish, of course it will be jollof rice. I know that sounds cliche, but that's one of my signature dishes. I'll make jollof rice. I don't think my strong suit is desserts.
Okay.
But of course, I like to make some sort of, if I have to make something sweet, I'll make puff puff with like a coconut candy crumb because, I'll make something this sweet because he's a pastry chef. So yes, he's one of those people that inspired me because I went to his pastry shop and I got a dessert many years ago. I cried when I ate it. It was that good.
Are you serious? Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, it was so good. Like my tears just welled up in my eyes. That was how good it was.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What advice we have for anyone who's looking to get into the same field as you? So they're looking to get into the food industry. They want to, make something. They want to have that impact. Like, what kind of advice will you have for such a person? Maybe a viewer who's watching my show and like, hey, you know what? I like what Gina is doing. I wonder how I can do it.
What I would say is, I know, when it comes to cooking, people say it's a bit expensive. Yes, it is expensive especially what I do, when I'm creating content and all of that, you spend quite a bit on all these things. But what I would say is consistency. When I look at what I cooked 10 years ago, like 10 years ago, I thought I was cooking great dishes, like my friends would come. And wow, and 10 years after, I can see the growth.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 years, I practically cooked like 5 days a week, sometimes 2-3 dishes every day. And I'm not talking about just cooking for the home, cooking for work, cooking, creating recipes for clients. And I'm cooking all the time, just basically creating content for my work, for my portfolio and all of that. And I'll say just cook every day. Try and read a lot of books. I read a lot of books. I read more cookery books than I read normal, like fiction or I read a lot of cookery books. I watch a lot of cookery shows, basically to get more knowledge. And no, you don't need to go to cooking school to be a chef. I actually went to a cooking school because I just wanted to get the degree. But most of the things I've learned on my own. I've learned on my own. Those were, I would say, I'm self-taught because most of the techniques. I learned some things in cooking school, but I'll say I invested in myself. I bought a lot of books. I read. I watched a lot of. Most of the content I absorb online is about food. So yes, just be consistent with what you're doing. Learn more. I know a lot of things because I learn. I absorb. I ask questions when I meet someone from a different nationality, tribe. I want to know what they're eating. I want to know. I want to learn. And people are always willing to teach. And they're happy to teach. So I think that's basically absorb as much knowledge as you can and just be consistent. Keep trying out recipes every day. Every day you get amazing at it. Really. Wow.
And you're a mom of 3, right? Fashionista. Yes. You're like, I
wouldn't consider myself a fashionista.
No, you are a fashionista. Are you kidding? No, they'll see. Don't worry. And I was telling my sister, I was like, oh, and this lady is, because my sister was like, okay, so who's on the show? I was like, oh, it's Gina. She, this is what she does and all that. And I was like, oh, and get this, she's a mom of 3. If you see her delectable dishes, I was telling her, I was like, if not me, if I don't fat from now to like I can't go past this door. What is the secret to this, your slim, do you understand? Like, you're just looking so good. I don't know what you think.
I don't feel like I'm slim. I think I think I'm very active. Not gym active. I run around.
But just moving around, like you're I get it.
I think it's because I think it's moderation.
Okay. And that's key.
Moderately.
Okay.
I don't really pig out as much as I think I do. I kind of balance it out.
Okay. Wow. So are
Yeah.
any of the children showing a lot of interest in like knowing how to cook naturally? Or are you steering them in that direction, you know?
I have to be. My first child is not adventurous with food and all of that, but if there's something that he likes, he just likes it. But he likes to cook. Is the boy? He likes to cook. He likes to try. Mom, can I help you? Then my second, the girl, she is the foodie, but she doesn't cook. She just wants to come in. Oh, it smells good, and she wants to eat. Like she's my dream girl. She eats everything I cook. She would try everything. Like, yummy. And my youngest as well.
Okay.
Those two are adventurous. Very adventurous. Eat anything, and they'll say, "Oh, I want that. I want that," and they'll look at my videos and point and say, "Can we have that tomorrow for lunch?" So yes, I think they are
fantastic.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Oh no, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear this, you know, like, because once we catch them young, like my kids, they're 6. I mean, they're still young, but even now I go to the kitchen and they run to me, you know, they're like, "Hey mommy, so what are you doing? Can we help you?" Even if I'm making pancakes, can we help you, like, you know, mix it, you know, or whisk it, you know? And I'm like, this is how it starts, you know? And I'm like, yeah, this is how it starts. Yes, of course you can make it. Of course they make a mess, but it's okay. It's okay. I will clean it up afterwards, you know, but they're interested, you know, which is great. No, so this is nice. I'm happy to hear this. All right, we're gonna segue to the last segment of the show, and this is where I ask you trivia questions. Okay, there are 2 envelopes here.
Okay.
Level 1 and 2. So you get to pick one envelope, and anything that's in that envelope, any question, you have to do it. You can't back out. If I tell you sing a song, you have to sing a song. You can't tell me no, I don't know how to sing. I'm not even. So you can't back out. Okay. All right. Number 1 or 2.
I don't know.
Number 1 or 2. What's your pick?
Number 1.
All right. So you see, it's number 1 here. I'm not tricking you. Can you see it? So viewers is number 1. Let's see what it is. Okay. So this is general trivia, and it's okay if you don't know the answer. You will learn. We'll all learn in the process, right? Okay. This is general trivia, and it's general trivia about Nigeria or Nigerians. Okay. All right. Hakeem Olajuwon played for the Houston Rockets in the 1980s and the 1990s. The Houston Rockets is a basketball team. What is his nickname?
I was hoping you'd say, what did he do? I knew he was a basketballer, but I'm like, the Rockets.
Yeah, he played for the Rockets. So what was his nickname? What is his nickname? It's still his nickname.
Okay. No.
You didn't. Okay, he was called
the Force. The Force?
No.
I think I know this thing, but I may have heard it once.
If I tell you, you'll be like, "Oh, of course." Are you ready?
Yes.
The Dream. So it was called Hakeem the Dream.
Yes. I've heard it before. I think I've heard it, you know, but okay, well.
Okay. All right. Number 2. 4 countries border Nigeria. Name 2 of them.
Oh, easy. Cameroon and Niger.
Hey, okay.
Well, if you want the third one, and Chad.
All right. This next one, if you don't know it.
Benin Republic, sorry, not Togo.
No, not Togo. Benin Republic, yes, yeah. Okay, yes, this next one. So there are 2 more. This next one, the next 2, if you don't know it, I will personally come there and flog you. I'm just letting you know. Who sang the song "Send Down the Rain"?
Now, my brother, Majek Pashek.
Yeah. I knew you know it. Okay, number 4. In Tiwa Savage's "Somebody's Son," who did the duet with her?
Oh, Brandy. Yay! Yes. Yes.
That's it though. Oh my goodness. I had so much fun, Gina.
I did as well.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your insights.
It was my pleasure.
Yes, yes, yes. And your information is going to be down below, I guess, for my viewers. If they want, I definitely would, tell, in short, I'm going to address them. Viewers, follow her. The information is below. You don't want to miss out. She inspires us with her plated dishes. Her food education is very important. You get to learn why things are done the way they are with food. And she is passionate about her craft. Okay. So that's the message, really. If you want to get into this, be consistent, which is what she said, and be passionate, and it will come through. Gina, thank you so much again for having me on the show.
Thank you for having me, Iyobosa. I'm happy to be here.
And have a lovely week ahead, okay?
And you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So viewers, there you have it. If you're new on my show, welcome, welcome, welcome to the family. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well so that you're notified when new episodes drop, which they drop every Friday. Viewers, if you're back on my show, it means you like it, or maybe you like me, all of them, all of the above, but it's good. Welcome. And until the next episode, I say you stay safe and have a super sparkly week. Bye now.